parcels, and welcome to another video. This has been one of my most highly requested videos throughout the last couple of weeks, and that is how to stay warm when dressing vintage, how to stay warm in all your beautiful vintage clothes. So today I want to share a couple of my tips and tricks on how I stay warm, because I wear tights and mini skirts, even sometimes open shoes, all of that I wear it year-round, and I live in a climate where it gets really cold. It's currently really cold, windy and snowy out, and so I feel like I have some grounds to claim here. So sit down, get comfortable, get cozy, wear your favorite sweater, get yourself a nice cup of coffee or tea or whatever hot beverage you like to drink, and let me share all of my tips and tricks on how to stay warm in winter in vintage clothes with you. So I'm just gonna start by saying, when it comes to dressing vintage in winter, you have to embrace layers. And I'm just gonna say right off the bat, there is no way where you can wear your clothes the way you do in summer, but you can still wear these pieces in winter. And here are some of the pieces that I love to use for layering. First of all, layering was really popular in the 60s and 70s. I'm wearing like a layered sweater, like this is a turtleneck, and then I'm wearing this thicker sweater over top, has these kind of like 3/4 sleeves. This was also popular with ponchos, for example, and I feel like this is always a great approach. I love to wear summer dresses with turtlenecks. I love to just layer in general. It's always a great way, but there are definitely some things you can do to make your layers even warmer. So I'm gonna go through this with you layer by layer. We're gonna start with the base layer. The first thing is a night dress or a slip dress. I have this one, and I know that this might not seem like much, but every layer you can get in will keep you a little warmer. I know you can also get these made from wool. I do actually have a dress like this made from wool. I forgot to grab that, but I have a dress just like this made from wool, actually a vintage one. I thrifted it with you, so you've probably already seen it. But yeah, any sort of underdress is always great. Next up, I have something that I really adore. My stepdad actually gave me this, and this is a woolen undershirt. So you can see that this is like super thin, so it does not look like you wear anything. The only thing is the necklines. You have to wear something with a high neckline, but I feel like a lot of 60s dresses do have a high neckline, and wearing this underneath does wonders. Even though it is so thin, it definitely keeps me a lot warmer, and because it is just really tight and slim, you can't really see it. You can also get these in like different colors. I think you can get them in nude too. This one is by Komatsu, which I think is a German brand. Yeah, seems to be a German underwear brand, but I'm sure if you just go to like a local store and look for a woolen undershirt, you will find some. These leggings and tights have been talked about a lot in the past, I know that, but I only ever see the black ones or the ones that look like sheer black tights, if you know what I mean. My biggest tip for the 1960s and 70s styles is to get a pair of skin colored ones. I don't know if you can get them in like other skin colors, because I just have not looked into that, because this is my skin color. It's a pretty pale kind of like beige, I want to say, and these are so warm. So it looks so weird holding these up. It has a thick elastic band up here, and then they're fleece lined, and I have the ones with the foot. I know that you can get just leggings too, but whatever extra inch of warmth I can get is great. And these are also great if you want to wear Mary Janes in winter, because I will not wear these out like this because it looks insane, because it looks quite scary, I think, because it just does not look like a human leg anymore. I don't know how to explain this, but like a normal leg does have some shading. It's not just like one straight color down. Anyway, I like to wear these and layer them with tights like these. So if this is like a regular pair of tights, this one isn't even particularly sheer. It's just like depending on how you hold your leg, I guess. But I will wear these and like my regular tights over this all winter long, and it keeps me so nice and toasty, and I still get the 1960s mini skirt look. If you're not wearing Mary Janes, get yourself some woolen socks. These are actually my husband's, because I left mine at my husband's parents' place. But my husband's grandma, she knits a lot. I need to get back into knitting, because I used to knit socks, and I also did a pullover before. But she makes these socks for all of us. We get a pair each year, and I really, really like them, and I just wear them in my shoes, and that already adds so much warmth, because I feel like as soon as my feet are cold, it's done. Then I'm like freezing from the bottom up. Another great idea would be to wear something like a pinafore dress, just something that you can wear a lot of layers with, like a turtleneck, a pullover underneath, whatever works. And then I also like to wear like looser sweaters over my dresses and just like tuck them up so that it looks like a skirt. I really like that too. I feel like that's a great look, and also a fun new way to wear your dresses, because for me I have a lot of dresses with like a collar, so if you put a sweater underneath and then poke the collar out, it looks so cool and it looks like a completely different outfit. I feel like that's a thing that people in the 60s and 70s did a lot, so I really like that. One last little tip, I do not own these personally, but my mother-in-law has a pair of heated sole pads. You put them inside your shoe and you can charge them, and she once lent them to me and they're a dream, they're a treat. So if you're like me and you're prone to cold feet, maybe invest in a pair of that, because I'm still thinking about doing that too. Next up, for at home, get yourself one of these. This is my all-time favorite thing. I wear it every morning. These were so popular in the 60s and 70s, and it's kind of like a blanket to wear. So it's kind of like a robe, but really thick. And then this is usually sheep's fur in there, so they're super, super nice and warm. Yes, it says here, sheep. These are really heavy, really big, really voluminous. Like this is so big. Do you see this? This is like one robe to wear, but they usually come with the most amazing patterns. I got this one just at a thrift store and I adore it. I basically live in this when I'm at home during winter. Now that you have your nice cozy base layer, let's talk about mid layers. It could be something like this, like a layered little pullover. You can also do something like a vest. I feel like that's always a popular choice for the 60s. I have this one from my grandma from the 70s. I adore it. It is really nice and warm. The colorway is so much fun on here. It's so cozy. Yeah, I feel like vests are always great, and I used to underestimate how much warmth one vest can actually give you. Another popular way were these shawls or ponchos. I have this white one here that I really like, and even though they're kind of like almost like lacy, if that makes sense, like they have a lot of holes, they still keep you warm, and you can get these in like all different materials. Cotton is popular, wool, any sort of like polyacrylic, polyester, whatever is also popular. They will keep you nice and warm. So on the topic of the mid layer, I think it is also important to understand fabrics. For example, I do have this really nice skirt. This is a Moffat and Weaver skirt. Some of you might know it. It's a really popular brand. And this is a tweed skirt. So this one is so nice and warm. And so during the winter, I will definitely gravitate way more towards tweeds, wools, all sorts of like warmer and nicer, cozier fabrics. Another good example would be these pants. I'm trying to put up pictures as much as possible of these things, but I adore these. These are woolen pants. They're just straight cut from the probably late 60s or early 70s. That's the front. Here we go. They have this like camel color and I really like them, and these are so nice, and if it is extra cold, I will wear these with the tights underneath, and that will keep you really nice and warm. Because another big tip I have, if you wear pants like this or even flares, I tend to get really cold on my legs, so I always wear at least knee-high socks, if not over the knee socks. Another great material would be leather. I have these leather pants here. I also have a pair of suede leather pants. These are just like regular black leather pants. They're phenomenal because these wool and denim are the kind of pairs of pants that'll keep you the warmest, whereas like anything that is more of like a jersey fabric or like a thinner fabric, like a cotton that isn't denim, will definitely be a lot colder. And then also obviously a longer skirt will keep you warmer. This one I just also wanted to show you because this is like a very interesting kind of material, because it is denim, but then it's also kind of like not, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm gonna say it's probably denim, but it's really nice and thick. There's just something different about it. It almost feels like a mixture of denim and tweed, but like the tag does not say what it is, so I cannot tell you for sure, but I can just say that this skirt is incredibly warm. Next up, let's talk about the outer layers. So when we're talking 60s and 70s outerwear for winter, there are 3 popular choices of material: wool, fur, and sheepskin. I'd say these are like the most popular choices and also the ones that'll keep you warm the longest. Starting off with fur, I have 2 fur coats right here. They're different in that this is fake and then this is real. We're gonna start with the real one first. I always say this when I talk about fur, I would never buy fur new, but I feel like if you get it secondhand or even as a family hand-me-down, because I have a fur coat from my grandma as well, keep on wearing them. They're incredible warm, they're super durable. The animal has sadly already passed, so there's nothing you can do about it, and just keep on wearing these, but do not buy new fur. There is no use in doing that. Whenever I go to my thrift store, there are like 10 fur jackets because a lot of people don't like them anymore. A lot of people just don't wear them. So please make use of that and do not buy new ones. So this one is super nice and warm. I personally have to say I love fur coats. These are so nice, except this one is real fur. It is super soft. It's a little longer. I adore it. It is beautiful and it does keep me really warm. The alternative for this would be a coat like this. This is a vintage coat too, but it is fake fur. You can see it in here. It says fur fabric, fur cleaning only. So you can always tell, because if I like lift this lining up and let you in on this, if it looks like this, if it's basically like a fabric backing, then it's fake fur. If this is suede, then it's real fur. So this one isn't quite as warm, but it's still really warm. It's nice and oversized. I like it. For me personally, I can do this one and then the other one both when it is really cold, but try different styles, different looks, different length, because this one is shorter, it's not as warm. It also has cropped sleeves, so that's a little colder as well. But just get to know what you like and which fabrics keep you warm the most. Next up is wool. I'm gonna say that this one probably is the warmest that I have because it is really long, really nice and thick, and it even has this kind of like extra layer in here. The sun is coming in one final time today. How beautiful. This really nice little extra layer of insulation. So this one's also really nice and warm, and because it is longer, it'll keep me even warmer. My battery just died. My bad. I'm sorry. The one thing with these coats is that often the buttons only go down about halfway. You will see it on here. And for a while I used to pin the bottom so that the coat does not come in, but it does limit moving a lot. So now I don't do that anymore. I will just wear as many layers as possible underneath. And I have to say, with layering and then wearing these coats, I definitely stay warm most days. These kind of jackets were also quite popular. This is one of my oldest 1960s style jackets, like oldest in my collection. I've had this for so many years. I adore it. It's just this really simple coat. I got it in Brighton and it's so beautiful. It is sheepskin. And I really like this one. It keeps me nice and warm. But these are generally the kind of jackets I would try to keep an eye out for: sheepskin, fur, wool. These are just the ones that have proven to me. And also when you look at pictures from the 60s and 70s, these are the jackets that people mainly wore throughout winter. So before I'm gonna go over to shoes and accessories, I wanna let you in on a little secret. Just because you want it to look like you're from the 60s and 70s, you don't have to only use that. You can take modern amenities, like for example the tights. And there's one more piece of clothing that I have, and I would have never gotten this, but I am the proud owner of a soft shell jacket. So the story of how I got this is a little wild. I used to work on a TV show. They even printed the logo of said TV show on here. I did a couple of seasons there with like in the prop department. And so when Christmas came around, they were like, oh, we have a gift for everyone working here. And it was these jackets. So I took it. Do I think that this is a pretty jacket? No. Is it hella warm and really, really good for layering? Yes. Because here's the thing. This jacket is not bulky at all. It is really, really tight and slim. So this works so well underneath one of these big coats. The only issue is the collar. So I usually go like this so that it is collarless. But this jacket underneath as an extra layer is the ultimate solution for me. If it is so cold that I don't even want to step a foot outside, but for some reason I've decided to go on a walk, my son wants to go outside, whatever the case may be, this is what I'm wearing, and it always saves the day. Now let's continue with shoes before making our way slowly up to hats. So the first thing that I would recommend you is to get a pair of leather boots, not suede leather, because as soon as it is somewhat wet outside because it is snowing, don't wear suede. You will ruin your shoes and your feet will get wet and cold. Go with a pair of actual leather boots like this one. This one also is so nice and warm. These are really nicely insulated. I love them. Use a leather balm to kind of like keep them the way that they are. I think that these are so cute. Look at the little details. I love to wear these. I feel like this was a really popular choice. These are also great under pants because they just keep your legs nice and warm. And then if this is not your cup of tea, if you don't really like heeled boots, you can also get them flat. I do have these two pairs of ankle boots. This one's like a little lower, this one goes a little further up on my leg. They both only have a little bit of heel. Then they both also have the sheepskin layer inside. You can also get sheepskin soles to put in there as well, but for me this is usually enough. Like these 3 pairs of shoes usually get me through winter. And if you saw that Q&A video where my husband said he hates that I don't have any proper winter clothes, I just want to say, just because you don't have a puffer jacket or like a modern pair of hiking boots, all of this works just as well. My only thing is, if you're like me and you like to go on hikes and walks through the forest, these shoes are a little more difficult. I always make it work in some kind of way, but like a shoe with an actual profile at the bottom is probably easier. Next up are hands. The obvious solution are gloves. There are different kind of vintage gloves. I, for example, have these ones. These are very flimsy, very thin. Then I have these white ones. They're kind of like averagely thin, I'd say. But if you really want to look for a pair of winter gloves, look for a pair like this. The big difference between these is that if you look on the inside of this, it's just suede. But then if you look inside of these, there is an extra layer of knitted wool in here. So these are really nice and warm. These also fit me quite well. I have really small hands, and so most gloves are too big on me. I got super lucky with these because they fit me like a glove. I cannot believe I just said that, but it wasn't even intentional. Now, obviously, you can always wear a scarf. I also like to wear these things. They're kind of like fur collars, and then they usually have a little thing down here where you can just kind of like pull it through. First of all, this is an incredibly fashionable accessory. Secondly, I really like this. This is what I usually wear with my sheepskin coat. It's so nice and warm in here. I also got this thrifting. I feel like these pieces usually end up at the thrift store, even though this is the nicest fur, the softest fur I've ever felt. These also work really well if you have like a boring coat, because they just add a little something there. I also sometimes like to layer my coats. I feel like that was really popular, especially with the medieval revival look. So this is like a little cape that you can put on top of your coat, or I just wear it when it's like just a little chilly, but you can also layer this over your coat to stay a little extra warm. And then last but not least, let's talk hats. So I feel like the obvious 60s choice is a beret. I actually see a lot of pictures from people from the 60s, and they will not wear their beret like this, which I feel like most people do, but like during winter they actually pull it forward and like wore it a little more on their head actually, which is great because it does definitely make a difference in how it keeps you warm. I always try to cover my ears. I also have earmuffs. These work really well. And then I also have like a fur kind of like headband almost. That always works really well too. Obviously, you can always go with something knitted or crocheted. I have this one. This one isn't as warm as my other hats, but it's definitely nice if it's like just a little chilly out. Now on to the 2 kinds of hats that I wear most when it's really cold. First one, these kind of like felt hats. These are so nice and warm. They also shield you from the snow and the rain, which is always nice. I really like them. They're fantastic. This was a really popular choice, especially throughout like the later 60s and the 1970s too. And then obviously, just like with the jackets, the thing that usually keeps you the warmest is fur. I have this one. I also have a white fur hat. This one's from my grandma. The white one I got at the thrift store. They're great, honestly. I really like them. These keep me so nice and warm. The only downside to these is that I feel like it makes hearing a little harder because you're just in there and it's so thick and nice. But honestly, if it is cold, I will take these any day. So that is it for today's video. That is it for dressing warm in vintage clothes during the winter. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more recommendations on how to stay warm, please let me know in the comments. As said, my 2 biggest things is layering and knowing your materials. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay warm and cozy. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out, but stay warm. Take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today. And I will catch you on Sunday in my next video. Sunday's actually my birthday. Just a little heads up here. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye, dolls.